Hello and welcome to another Manitowoc Garage video. In this video, we are going to see how the in-cab ground bearing pressure screen works. This video was built using the folios listed here, folio F2331, folio F2267, folio F2269, and the information available from the operator's manual. So let's get started with the in-cab ground bearing pressure display. Note that the folio F2331 was recently updated on July 2021. This garage video assumes that the crane operator is totally familiar with the main display and how to operate it. If in doubt, read and thoroughly understand folio F2267 MLC650 main display operations manual. That is the crane that we're using as an example on this video. If you are not using the MLC650, you should go and read the main display operations manual of your MLC crane. Now, using the crane jog dial or display keypads, navigate to the menu screen and to the icon shown here in orange. This icon represents the ground bearing pressure screen. Once the ground bearing pressure screen is accessed, the operator can view the ground bearing pressure information shown in figure number 2. The information shown in the red box will be in PSF, pounds per square foot, or in kPa, kilopascal. That will be the units of measure of pressure applied to the ground. The units of measure can be shown in IN, inch, and can also be shown as m as meters, depending upon which of unit of measure is selected in the RCL/RCI display, imperial or metric units. The 19.8 ft represent the distance from the center of rotation of the crane to the center of the VPC max trolley in feet. This information can also be shown in m or meters. The car body is shown here in dark blue shadow. This is shown to keep the operator informed where the pressure points are. The 80 in represents the width of the crawler pad as configured on this example on the MLC650. The ground bearing pressure is shown by these 4 positions on the screen. The trapezoid shown here represent the distribution of the ground bearing pressure from one end of the crawler to the other. The size of the trapezoid of each corner is drawn as a proportion of the maximum corner ground bearing pressure. If the ground bearing pressure distribution is such that one or more corners are not taking any load, the number in the box will show 0 PSF or kPa, and the trapezoid will turn to a triangle where the length of the side of the triangle along the crawler represents the contact length. For example, if the theoretical contact length is 50% of the total crawler length, the side of the triangle adjacent to the crawler will be only half of the length of the crawler. For example, if the theoretical contact length is 50% of the total crawler length, the side of the triangle adjacent to the crawler will be only half the length of the crawler. The rotating beds, counterweight and boom butts are shown in light blue and the crane's position is turned to about 9 degrees. The rotating bed image will rotate to correspond to the crane's actual swing angle. You can see by this example the left rear has a little higher ground pressure compared to the right front. Counterweight position for the VPC max or the VPC, depending on how the RCL/RCI display is configured. On the MLC650, see folio F2269 RCL/RCI operations manual for instructions on how to do the RCL/RCI configuration. In the red rectangle is the selection box for choosing the type of surface where the pad is on. Table 1 will give you the information of the ground surface possible choices. Art ground bearing estimates utilize the length from the center of the first to the last intermediate roller and only the absolute flat portion of the crawler pad width. Medium ground bearing estimates utilize the length from the first to the last intermediate roller and generally the flat portion of the crawler pad width. Soft ground bearing estimates utilize the length from the center of the idler to the center of the tumbler and the full crawler pad width. Pad width selection box. To change the pad width, a password is required. To enter the passcode, go to the selection boxes and enter the passcode 2401 to change the pad width. Using the jog dial or the scroll keys, highlight the pad width selection box. Press the OK key. The passcode boxes will appear with up and down arrows at the first digit. The passcode is 2401. Using the jog dial or the scroll keys, set the first passcode digit. Click OK to go to the next passcode digit and repeat the previous step. Repeat the process for the remaining digits. Once the last passcode digit is entered, press the OK key. The pad width icon will change from the wide pad icon to the narrow pad icon or vice versa, and the new pad width will appear on the plan view of the crane. If it is an MLC650, it will show up either 60 inches or 80 inches depending on the choice that you select. Here we can see several pad widths for the MLC crawler range. For your specific crane, you should always consult your main operations manual of the selected crane. The center of gravity symbol floats over the plan view and moves to show the current location of the crane's center of gravity. Bubble level indicator. In some cranes, this is an optional item. For the MLC650, please read the folio F2267 main display operation manual for further instructions. There is also a roll indicator shown in degrees. Like the bubble level indicator, this item is an optional for some of the lattice cranes. Please read the main display operations manual for further instructions. And on the bottom left of the display, a pitch indicator, also optional in some cranes and shown in degrees. And this is the end of the in-cab ground bearing pressure screen Manitowoc garage video. Please review it as many times as you want it, and thank you for watching us. And somewhere the sun is setting, and you can bet it is setting over the boom of a Manitowoc crane.